Hey, everybody, welcome back. This is another episode of the Grind Lifestyle Podcast. I am JP. That guy is Nick. That guy is Scott Bartlett. And with us today, you may know him from the band My Darkest Days. He is Sal Costa, and we're going to get into a whole lot more of what's going on with him these days and past. Sal, how you doing, man? Welcome aboard.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it. Nice to meet you guys.
Absolutely.
Minus Scott, because I known Scott for a while.
Well, there's a good...
Scott and I have been talking. He's like, man, I got some stories. I bet you do.
That's what we're getting into immediately. Top of your head, Bartlett, tell us a story that involves you two.
I got to be honest. The more I thought about the stories, the more I thought about kind of like how hedonistic that era of life was, at least for me. I don't really remember much except seeing Sal every day for like 4 months. Like, I know that, Austin was still in Hinder.
Yeah.
That was before all that went down, and things were starting to go off the rails in that camp and in my camp.
There was one saving Abel.
Yeah, there was one saving Abel. Things were starting to go off the rail in my camp, too. And you guys were riding so high on that success of Porn Star Dancing, and it was really cool because it was like we had just gotten to the show. Saving Abel had 3 hits, and we had a song, we had Addicted.
Oh, yeah.
We were watching you guys blow up like we did, and we were jealous, but we were excited for you, too. And I just remember hanging out I do remember pranking you with male strippers at the end of the tour.
I remember that as well, very clearly.
That happened. So we had them come up during, you have a bunch of male strippers prank somebody during a song called Porn Star Dancing. You can imagine it can get a little dicey on stage in front of like 3,000 people.
Totally. Actually, I got to tell you, Scott, like I remember when Addicted came out. This is like before My Darkest Days was even signed. And I remember actually being in my car, listening to the rock station. I think it was 97.7 at the time, I believe, which broadcasted to Toronto. And I remember just thinking like, holy fuck, that's a huge rock hit. Like, that's a big song. I fucking loved that song, man. And so, yeah, it's like I have a very, very clear memory of the very first time I heard that song on the radio as well. So it's cool. Everything comes full circle. It's awesome.
It really does. I also remember with Sal, everybody always made fun of me because I warmed up before shows.
Yeah.
But so did Sal.
Yes.
Yeah, he was like a diligent, like, I'm going to run my scales and I was like, okay. Yeah. I can get down with this dude.
Yeah.
You were always really diligent. You're playing. We have a lot of artists on here, and talent doesn't really come up a lot because we have so much more to talk about. But I've always really admired the way you play guitar.
Oh, thanks, man. And you too. Honestly, I always thought the same thing about you. I was just like, you were like super cool guitar player, and you kind of had like that like bluesy country twang thing about your playing, which was I think was really fresh for rock, especially at that time too. So no, I appreciate that. Chad always from Nickelback always like made fun of me too, because even when we were on tour with them, I'd be like even like sometimes in catering and I'm just kind of playing around. Like, what are you doing? I'm just like I want to be good, like
yeah. I want to be better. Chad made fun of me for that in catering too. That's funny.
Yeah, right.
Well,
so
I guess I want to know like the story. I don't know if that's where you were going with that, JP. The origins of like Sal and guitar playing and like how it begins, and take us through the cliff notes of like the beginning, the middle, and where you're going.
It started with a dream.
Started with a dream. I had a dream. It actually did start with a dream, funny enough. Right? Yeah. So I had 2 sisters. I still have 2 sisters. They're 9 and 11 years older than me. So I was like the baby. And, I was born, I'm 39. I was born in 86. And in the 90s, when all my friends were kind of listening to like Hanson, Spice Girls, my sister, who's 9 years older than me, was like a 90s goth. And she had like, her room was painted like dark purple. And it was just one like really dim yellow light which lit up her room, and she had a crazy CD collection, like everything. And so I would just kind of like, when she wasn't home, because she'd kick my ass if I was home and I was playing through her stuff, but when she wasn't home, I'd go and I'd just pop in stuff and I'd look at all her records. And I kind of fell in love with guitar just from that, like listening to her albums, Guns N' Roses, Nirvana, We had a huge Canadian band that never really made it in the States called I Mother Earth. I loved that band. Our Lady Peace. Anyway, so we listened to all these rock records, Metallica. And she actually ended up buying me my first guitar. And I started having these like lucid dreams. Like I would fall asleep, and it's so trippy. I'd fall asleep every night, and I had this like reoccurring dream. This went on for years, from when I was like 8 years old on. And it was of me behind a stage at like a big arena. And it was all from like the perspective of the dream was all from the back. So I never saw my face, but I was walking on stage, and there was a guy hands me a guitar. I walk on the stage, and I'd walk on with these other dudes. And then all of a sudden you just hear like people screaming. And that was the whole dream. It never went any further, and it never really changed. And so I had like this guiding light, and like I just knew that this is what I was going to do. At some point, this was going to happen for me. And all throughout high school, I was like the guy that was always in bands, starting bands. Like, music was just everything. And I remember going, got my guidance counselor. I begged my parents to not force me to go to college. And like, I'm first generation Italian. No one in my family had gone to school. I think my dad's education's like grade 1 or 2. Like, no joke. Like, my dad was homeless as like a kid, pretty much 12 years old. He was living on his own, kicked out of his house in southern Italy. My dad grew up in a town with like no running water, none of that stuff. So my whole family immigrated here in the 70s. And so having us be educated was like super important to them. So my eldest sister who's 11 years older than me, became like works for a lawyer in the biggest law firm in Canada. My other sister became a very successful psychologist. And now here I am, and I'm 9 years younger than her. And my parents are like, you cannot not go to college. Like, you have to. Like, so I remember telling my guidance counselor in high school, she's like, well, what are you gonna go to school for? I'm like, I want to be a fucking rock star. Like, I want to be in a band. And I remember so clearly sitting in her office, and she just like looked at me and then just started laughing at me. And it's funny because like, it didn't hurt my feelings at all. I remember looking at her and being like, you are an idiot. Like, you have no idea who I am. Right? Like, you have no idea. And I meant it in a way like I was so sure that this was going to happen for me. I was just like, you are so mistaken. Like, this is happening for me. And anyway, so to appease my parents, I actually enrolled in college in Toronto. And I was doing a mix of like business and music. And the split of the music that I was doing was like flamenco guitar and jazz. And I would pretty much, my mom would actually, this is like, I'm a grown ass man pretty much at this point. My parents knew I wouldn't, like, I was just probably going to not show up. So my mom would drive me to college, bro. Like I got my mother driving me like I'm a toddler to school every day to make sure she sees me walk in there. And I would go right to the library and sleep and just kind of like manifest band stuff. But I would go to my music kind of lessons in classes. And I had this flamenco guitar teacher, and he was always interested in the shit that I was writing, where my jazz teacher just pretty much told me that like what I was trying to do wasn't music. But this guy, flamenco teacher, he was like always very intrigued about it. I would ask a lot of questions and all this kind of stuff. And one day my parents' phone rings, and it's my professor, my flamenco professor. His name's Roger Scanuta, and Roger asked to come to my house. And my parents thought I was in trouble or something, like I'd been doing stuff or whatever at college or whatever. He actually came to my parents' house, and he straight up said to my parents, he's like, I see a lot of people come through this music program. He said, I think you need to convince Sal to actually leave college because he has a chance of doing this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I remember like my parents, like, again, because like he was a professor and he was an educated man, to my parents, it actually meant something, But my parents, like they're fobs. They didn't know anything about this kind of stuff. I'm trying to explain what I want to do, and they just don't understand. They come from a different world, essentially. So he really, that guy was pretty much the reason, like, kind of got my parents off my back. And And then it kind of allowed me to start getting out there. And within a couple of years, I had an independent band that started to make a little bit of noise in Toronto. I had gone to call once, funny enough, when I was like 17 years old, from EMI Records at the time, would see me play at a little club by myself. And they asked me if I'd be interested in auditioning for this band they were putting together, which I assumed at the time was actually Lucas Rossi, because he had just gotten signed to EMI at that time. It ended up not being him. But anyways, so shortly after that, I meet this band, My Darkest Days. And My Darkest Days, they were older than me. So I think when I was like 18, Matt was probably already like 23, something like that. They were like 5-6 years older than me. And I remember the very first time my band played with their band, and they just fucking decimated us, man. Like, and I started to realize, like, holy shit, like that, they're going to do it. And I knew at the time, like, my band members didn't have what it took. They didn't have like the grind. They didn't have the grind lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't have where I was just like willing to just ditch everything and play my guitar. They always had other things tying them down. And when I saw My Darkest Days, I was really intrigued. I was like, how did they get that good? You know, as a band, you know, not even as players, as a band. And so I started playing more shows with them. And then I just started to see, I was like, these guys do nothing else but music. They're like me, but I'm the only guy in my band like that. And they started to become acquainted with me because we play all these shows together. My band had a little bit of a draw. So anytime they would play a show, they were independent at the time. And it was there was a different guitar player. They would call me to come out and play, essentially, and open up for them. And one day I was actually in Florida on vacation with my family, and I was probably like 19 years old. And Dougie reaches out to me, the drummer. He's like, hey man, you know, we're like thinking of auditioning, and we want another guitar player. We have a rhythm guitar. We want a lead guitar player. We wanted you to come out. And then I kind of came back. I auditioned for the band, and I ended up actually replacing the person who was there, and I ended up kind of being the rhythm/lead guitar player. And my first show ever with the band was a showcase for Def Jam Records.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So and that was that's how it all started in a nutshell.
Baptism by fire. That's a tough one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a tough gig.
I remember I was shitting my pants, and I was like, oh my God, if I fuck this up and I ruin this. And it was crazy because that show, it was in Toronto. And I'll never forget too, like, I was like 19 at the time, right? And Matt is Brad from 3 Days Grace's brother. So Matt was always around 3 Days Grace and always around, you know, 3 Days Grace was a big band. So he was always around all these other big bands. I was just like this pretty much fresh out of high school kind of guy, you know? And I remember just stepping on stage and looking into the crowd of that show. And it's like all these executives from Def Jam, the dude who signed to Oasis. There's freaking other record labels there. There's Chad from Nickelback. I see him in the audience. I see Ian Thornley in the audience. I see the guys from Billy Talent. I think there might have been some of the dudes from some point. Like all these people like from Toronto that were in big bands, like they started hearing about this buzz, all came to the show. I'm just looking out, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I better not fuck this up. And
to carry lead and rhythm on your first. Wait, did you have Reed in the band at that point?
No, Reed came much later. And there's a funny story with Reed too. Reed was originally our tech, and we were auditioning keyboard players, and we just got so tired of the auditions were getting worse and worse and worse. And so we just said, we're not going to audition anybody anymore. Reed, can you just audition people? And you know what the standard is. If you find somebody good, send them to us, and then we'll actually do an audition with them. And then we're just like, after a while, we're like, well, fuck, Reed knows all the parts. Why don't we just get him? And he's a cool young dude, and he was like us, just willing to just do anything to make it happen, you know. So that's how kind of Reed joined the band.
Nice.
Yeah.
How are your parents these days? Have they? Oh, okay, we get it.
Yeah, well, it's funny because my parents really got it. Like, they started hearing like I was touring the States, and they're starting to see pictures of me playing all these shows and stuff. And I told him, I was like, Mom, we have the #1 song in the country. She's like, oh, that's really nice, you know. But
Right.
we played Rock on the Range, and I think my parents flew out for that show, and we had a good slot, and it was just a sea of people. And I remember my parents show up, and they're like, there's like whatever 60,000 people there. And then they were like, holy shit. That was when they started to get it. Like, they're like, oh, this isn't a joke. This is real. you know? And yeah, so that was kind of the start of it. And then ever since then, it's funny, they have completely flipped over. They're like, anytime I've in my life where I'm just like, I don't know if I want to do, like, I need to step away. They're like, don't do it. Like, that's who you are. Like, you're a musician. Like, don't forget that's what you're good at. Like, this is who you are. So it's funny. They actually, once they saw that that's what I do, then now that's like anytime, like I've even ever talked about stepping away from it. My mom's like, you're going to break my heart. Don't do it.
And what are the possible?
Tell us about the new stuff you're working on with Lucas. Lucas keeps texting me all the songs you guys are working on. So
nice.
Unfortunately, I haven't shared them with the other guys yet. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to or
yeah. You know what? I'll let me get you some better versions of probably what Lucas has sent you, because he's probably sent you some early stuff, and but it's still fucking good. It's good.
Yeah. I'm a huge My Darkest Days fan, but this new stuff, holy shit! I was like, damn, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's like, I'm excited about it. You can probably see I'm excited about it because when I remember, again, because Lucas is 10 years older than me, I remember when Lucas was on Rockstar Supernova. And I remember thinking, holy shit, he's from Toronto too. Like, I'm like both Toronto boys. And I had heard about Lucas through the scene or whatever. And I remember when Lucas got on that show, I was like, I gotta connect with that guy at some point in my life. And this is way before My Darkest Days. I was like, kind of a nobody doing nothing in music, just having this dream. But I saw Lucas and I immediately knew. I was like, I'm connected to this dude. He doesn't know it yet, but there is something it was weird. I just knew that sometimes, in life, like there's just certain people that you're going to connect with. You don't even have to meet them. You just know. Well, Lucas did his thing with Rockstar Supernova. It kind of ended up doing his solo thing on his own after that. And My Darkest Days took off. And during My Darkest Days, I actually sent Lucas a demo that I had done for My Darkest Days record. I was like, hey, you don't know me. My name's Sal or whatever. I'm in this band, My Darkest Days. And I think he obviously knew of the band by that time. And I said, do you want to check out a song? And so he ended up co-writing a song with me, never made the record. But that was kind of the initial connection I had with him. And then just 3 months ago, maybe, like I'm sitting at my house and I think I flipped through something on Instagram and I just see a video of Lucas and he's just like, what did he say? He's just like, yeah, I'm going to be doing a little online show, Florida time. And I'm like, that's a really weird way to say Eastern time. So I was like, he's got to be in Florida. So I sent him a message like, hey, bro, I was like, are you in Florida? Like, I live in Florida now too. And he's like, no way, whereabouts? I'm like, well, I live like Clearwater Beach area. He's like, I live in Tampa, which is like 30 minutes away from each other. And we just kind of met up. We went out for dinner and I wanted to, like, for me at this point in my life, who I involve in my sphere is like, I'm very like diligent about that. I don't want anybody who's going to be like a vampire on my life in any way, just drain my energy, So I've had a lot of opportunities throughout the last handful of years to kind of get involved with other musicians and kind of like talk to them on the phone or whatever. I'm like, I don't want to spend time with that person. You know what I mean? So I usually vet people when I just decide I'm gonna, if I'm gonna do something with them. So we met for dinner, and man, we connected immediately. Aside from musically, we grew up exactly the same. He's first generation Italian as well, and we were laughing like at how similar our families were. Like, this is yesterday. This actually happened yesterday. Something else. He's like, dude. He's like, back in Italy, my dad got kicked in the head by a donkey. I'm like, whoa. Your dad got kicked in the head by a donkey? And he's just like, yeah. I'm like, my dad got kicked in the head by a donkey. And we're both from Southern Italy, our families. And then we just started laughing. And then I'm just like, it's like, my dad always talks about, there's a little patch. My dad has a full fucking head of hair, man. Like, my dad's like in his 70s, has hair that you can only dream about, man, at his age. But he's got this little patch that I can't really see. He's convinced of it. But that when he got kicked in the head by a donkey, he missed that patch of hair. It's never grown back. And Lucas's dad said the same thing. But so I'm just like, so it's just these weird things. And so
weird.
It's very weird. It's very weird. But immediately Lucas felt like family. And so we just started writing these songs, man. And it's just happening effortlessly. And it's just been amazing. And we actually have two members now who we're going to announce, who are guys that you will know, a drummer that you'll know, bass player that you guys will know. And we're going to kind of announce that probably the next month. They're flying over in November. We're going to shoot a music video for a song. And yeah, so that's just how that started.
That's amazing. You know, that is all great and dandy, but for everyone watching this episode right now, you may have just glossed over this. The ass in Southern Italy is dangerous. So be careful.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. So my great grandparents and my grandparents are from Italy. Nice. So like they actually came over on the boat and stuff. Yep. And like I grew up down in San Francisco. Like every summer I'd go to San Francisco and stay with them. It's where they ended up moving to when they moved over here.
Man, culture.
Spaghetti, oh my God. So good.
Yeah.
Sal, how would you say you embody currently the grind lifestyle?
Well, that's actually a really good question. I wake up in the morning and I have to accomplish something in my life, you know? So for me, like, even when I wouldn't be touring, I would be like, I need to think of like a business, like something I need to. So I'm always kind of like, I have a few businesses outside of music. And for me, it's all about like kind of waking up and trying to like reaching towards greatness in some way, you know, and with whatever I'm doing. So I'll kind of just like, I'm very kind of goal oriented. I will kind of manifest what I want to happen, whether it's with music or a business or whatever. And then I pretty much just dive in and figure out how to make it successful. That's kind of like, I guess how I kind of grind, you know. And then I also have 3 kids now. So that just adds to the madness, you know?
Yep.
Yes, indeed. Don't we all know that?
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah. You know, Nick has like 37 kids, right?
and DHS is now giving us kids. It's so unreal. It's crazy.
Have another.
That's wild. Man, if it was up to my wife, we would have 30 kids. Like every time another one's born, she's just like, you want to have another one? I'm like, give me a minute.
No, my wife and I are actually doing the foster parent thing. So we have a newborn that we're fostering, and then we have a 4-year-old now that we're fostering, along with we have 2 toddlers at home too. So
I commend you for that, man. That's amazing.
Crazy. Yeah,
it is crazy. I told my wife, I'll practice making them as much as you want.
There you go. That's the fun part right there.
Right. Of course.
You could always take the route that I did. She had her tubes tied, so they took out the factory and put in a playground.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that. That's awesome.
That takes grind to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, Sal, you can play a show with any artist, living or dead, that you have not currently played with or ever. Who's it going to be?
Ooh, that I haven't currently played with?
That you have never played with.
Okay.
Living or dead, any artist.
Definitely Led Zeppelin.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hands down. There's a video of them. I think it's like 1972 or 1973 playing Madison Square Garden. And there's this video of them playing Since I've Been Loving You. And it's like,
that is my favorite Led Zeppelin song of all time.
Watch that.
I guarantee I've seen it. And he's probably wearing pants that are like painted on, if I'm guessing.
Yeah. It's incredible. You just watch them like, holy shit. They're fucking incredible. I love them. I would love to have played with Nirvana at some point too. Of course. I mean, they're just less legendary band as well. Yeah, those 2 for sure would stick out in my mind right away.
It's still possible, at least the little pieces, you know, that is a dream that could still theoretically happen.
Possible. It's possible.
From the Duran Duran cover, Come Undone. Like that was probably,
that's like Heard of Us?
Yeah, that was like Porn Star Dancing was cool. I'm like, this is a cool song, but Come Undone, like you guys fucking just killed that cover. It was like, there's just something about that cover. It's like, damn, like it's sexy. It's fucking, it's badass.
I honestly,
that's like probably my favorite song you guys have done.
It's one of my favorite too, to be honest. And it was one of my favorite to play live.
I was going to say live, that one always went off.
It did. It was weird. It was weird. It kind of like for us, even if we were ever doing a headline tour, it became like our fans' cult kind of favorite. Like people loved hearing that song. I don't know. It was just the vocals hit really well. The harmony. It worked for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool. And I loved playing it too. It's got like super moody. The original is incredible, obviously. You know, so it was cool to do it. Yeah. Totally.
What's the hardest thing for you about being a parent? Sorry, I'm going old school, Nick.
No. Oh man, honestly now the hardest thing for me, I think, as a parent is like I am very like when I set my mind to something, I'm in like 300%. You know, I very rarely will get involved in something if I know I can't like just dive into it with an incredible amount of time. And it's much harder to do that when you have kids because, well, first of all, I just can't let them like be orphans essentially and just like never see them, you know? But then also if I can't get anything done in the house when they're home, obviously, because if I'm starting to do anything, that's the moment when they need me for something, you know? So I almost find the hardest thing about kids in general for me is just figuring out how to really dive in and accomplish something, you know, and still being a good dad. And that I'm still trying to figure out. But now I kind of just try and include them in stuff that I'm doing, you know, cool. Like if I'm just kind of like writing a song, I'll be like, oh, Willow, my daughter Willow, she's like 9 years old and incredible little songwriter. It's actually freaky. Got a great ear. I'll be like, hey, do you have a melody or anything? Like, do you have any ideas with this? And so now she's starting to have her own little input, and sometimes she'll like write like a little riff. I'm like, damn, that was really cool. Like, we're that
great. That's just, yeah.
I think that's always one of the coolest things about, like, I have older kids. So like I have like my two little toddlers, and then I have older kids that are anywhere from like 18 to almost 30. So yeah. when we own a management company too. So when we're looking at bands, like one of my kids works for Dutch Bros Coffee. So they're like tied into like whatever's hot right now. Yeah. So I always call him. I'm like, hey, I got this band that just sent me this demo. Check it out. And like he'll send it off to the Dutch Bros crew, and then like, oh shit, yeah, that's fucking fire. Let's go with that. So it's cool to include them into, you know, finding new music, new artists, or like he'll hit me up and like, hey dad, I heard this new band on so and so. I was out in Vegas and at a Dutch Bros thing, and this band came on stage and played. You should check them out. And like we found bands that way. So it's been really cool to include my older kids that way. My little kids, though, it's like it's a nightmare trying to do something with a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. It's like, oh no.
Oh yeah, I think they reach an age where they kind of start to know the things that they like and what makes them tick. But my daughter Willow, what's interesting about her is that she's got amazing taste in melody. Like she knows what hooks are. Never even taught it to her. Just like innate, she understands that. So I'll be like I'll show her some of the stuff I'm working on, and I know what's good based off what I hear her humming and singing the next day. You know,
100%.
Right? I'm like, yeah. if a kid can walk away and hum it, you know, and sing it, then I was like, there's got to be something. There's something to it. So she's been pretty good with that kind of stuff, and just it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing to think too, if your kid can hum it and walk away from it, you're going to break on TikTok. So you're good to go there.
Yeah, and that's shit I got to figure out too. Like, I don't understand that world at all, man. Like,
dude, it's a nightmare.
We're learning, but then we're not learning. The trends change so fast. By the time it's not different from rock and roll and radio. By the time that you catch that trend, you missed it.
That's the thing too. I was talking to actually the president of a record label 2 weeks ago or whatever about this project we're working on, kind of like starting to talk to a few people. And he's like, I love the songs. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And he's like, but like, have you guys thought about what your plan is going to be with TikTok and all that kind of stuff? And immediately I'm like, I don't want to fucking do that. Like that to me is exactly why I don't want to do music. It's like, I don't want to just have to make some stupid video of like that has nothing to do with my songs. Like for me, it's about like the art and creating something. And I'm like, that just seems like I'm just being a whore. And I'm like, and now I have to do it because that's
the pickle. That's the problem.
Yeah. No, I'm telling Scott and Brandon, like, because they've got a new single coming out. And I'm like, I did all this research with all these bands that are blowing up right now. And they're putting out these stupid videos, like 30-second reels with their song in the background that has nothing to do with their song, tagging other bands and like the cringiest shit you can possibly think of on the actual video. but it fucking works. And it's like, what the hell? Like they're getting hundreds of thousands of followers.
But are people, my question is, because I've heard a few different things, are people, does that translate to people coming to actually see them and caring about them?
So what it translates to with one of the bands I've talked to is they were able to book a nationwide tour and get a decent guarantee. They haven't left on the tour yet, so I don't know what the shows are going to turn out. I'm in contact with them, so they'll let me know as they do the shows.
I would love to know because, I was actually just thinking about this yesterday. I was just like, I would 1,000 times over be a musician who could do like clubs or theaters and be credible than be an arena artist because I'm a TikTok reel, you know?
Well said.
Right. That the reason why I get into music is because when I pick up that guitar, it's just like it's I can emote through it and I can create something. And to me, to like have somebody else come see me for like some stupid antic, that's like it's like almost like offensive. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm like, well, you're here because I did like a fucking cartwheel to like MC Hammer song. Like that's not why I want you here. You know?
Right. So we're working with an artist that his producer is the same producer for Echo, the hip hop guy out of Vegas.
Yeah.
So he told us that basically what Echo did is those videos of, hey, for fans of Linkin Park or XYZ. So his first tour was okay. He was doing, 50 to 150 people a show. Now he's got a Vans deal, the Vans shoe company. He's got his own shoe. He's headlining 500 to 1,500 seat theaters now.
Amazing.
And it's all, and he said it's directly due to those videos breaking on TikTok, breaking on Instagram. He's like,
that's good to know.
If that hadn't happened, he wouldn't be where he's at. Well, and he's getting $5,000 a feature now too, which is insane.
That's amazing. Well, my question would be then, like, does what we do, rock music, is that the audience that is on TikTok? It makes sense for hip hop and pop and stuff, but does rock, like, I don't know.
So Lakeview does it. Lakeview's like that rock / country band. They're doing it now. And according to their management, yes, it works for them. Their shows are getting bigger. They have some shows that are absolute duds where 50 people still show up. But like, I know they're playing my town. They're playing the Rocky Tonk in Medford. That show's sold out. That's 600 tickets.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, and again, it's these cringy videos of.
I know some people that have popped off, like that Sam guy down in Biloxi. He just did this killer version of a heart-shaped box with him and an acoustic.
Yeah.
And he didn't do anything cringe. He just sounded really cool, and that popped off on TikTok. So I guess there is a way to not completely sell your soul and just have the integrity of the music speak for itself. I guess your odds go up when you sell out.
Yeah. No, I mean, like when I think of where the world is going and everything is so digital, man, I fucking hate it. Up until I moved to Florida, my house had no TVs and I didn't have internet. Like, that's pretty fucked up. I was like living like a caveman pretty much. And I loved it. I actually had a flip phone. This is kind of like after my darkest days. It's like, I want to just kind of like, I don't want any of this technology. Like, I want to just kind of connect with the earth and people and stuff. And it's the reason why I got into music in the first place, is because like I'm connecting with sound and then I get to connect with sound with other people, So every time I think of like all this social media stuff, and as much as is necessary, I'm just like, it's completely takes me away from the whole reason why I got into this stuff, And I don't know. I just don't like where the whole world seems to kind of be moving in this direction where everything is so digital, and there's like, we're connected more than ever, but we're not connected anymore.
We're not connected. Hey, Sal, I'm still not running in-ears, and I'm still running my Bogner Shiva.
Yeah, nice. There you go. I love that. Like I have like a 91 Ampeg here that's, just solid, like a tube amp here that I just fucking run. And I love that thing. And, I'm with you on that, man.
I tried the Kemper thing. I tried the ear thing. I tried the ear thing my whole career. I'm like, man, I grew up with a wedge in front of my face when I was 17 with cigarette smoke in my eyes and my nose and, man's man shit.
Yeah.
But I miss it.
But then it's just like, there's certain things. This is another thing I've learned too over the years, and like that sometimes it's important to do things you don't like, So this is one of the things I don't like that I'm going to probably have to do, and hopefully it will pay off, and I can figure out something that makes sense. But yeah, it's something I dread doing.
You're not alone, man. Not by you. Not. I get it wholeheartedly, and you were mentioning just a second ago how it's necessary because that's what works today.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas what used to work prior to social media, it worked just fine back then.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way to where, and this hits into the heart of being a parent and watching my kids just, focused on this dang phone all the time I wish there was an event that happened where not necessarily an EMP bomb that kills everything, but like social media and phones just for whatever reason just became not so necessary and important because things worked just fine prior. Things were great. We just didn't. And now everyone thinks you need this. It has to be done. It's like, and it doesn't. I've seen it. I've lived it to a point where, and that's not me trying to be, stubborn or not wanting to change with the times and get off my lawn. It's just, I'm still young at heart, young in mind. I know what used to work. This is obviously a problem, but everyone needs to and has to do it. Where do we get to a point, or how do we get to a point where, or will that never happen? And to tone it back a bit.
I don't think it's going to happen, brother.
I think
I don't think so either. But
back is if like
wishful thinking, I suppose,
completely like we lose all the platforms.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way you could scale it back and start over. And like the shittiest thing is like 10 years ago, the talent pool was better. Like there was people were like did things because they were talented. Now you get on social media and it's some dipshit fucking auto-tuned with a fucking dance moves, and you're like, 10 billion views, and they're making $100,000 a show. Whereas guys like you are just fucking killing it musically and talent-wise, and you're struggling. You're like, you're trying to get your music out there, trying to get the message out there, and it's like, fuck. Like, where did we go wrong?
And I don't want to say it's not fair because that's a bitch move, but it ain't fucking fair.
I mean, not to discredit Taylor Swift or anything, but goddamn,
she's talented, dude. She's talented.
She's talented, but she wouldn't sell as many records as she did if there wasn't social media. If she didn't have all the bullshit social media stuff, fucking the Chiefs wouldn't be as big as they are if there wasn't social media.
Crazy. One thing we've talked about doing, and we actually started talking to some of our other friends' parents. So we just try to align with more families who are conscious of this kind of stuff as well. Like, not, like other parents who also don't want their kids like just drowning on their devices. And we've actually talked about like what if we get other parents together and find a group, and they essentially sign a contract as like parents and kids that we're going to stay off social media until this age kind of thing, because I don't know, man, it's just like it's so tough. It's like I even find like kids are growing up too fast in a not good way. They don't know, like boys don't know how to be men. And girls don't know how to be women, but they know how to be like sluts, because of, right. So they're kind of like, it's like, whoa. Like you're skipping over how to be a woman. You're kind of going from a kid to this. And same with boys, the same thing. Like I wonder, I'm like, how I don't want to raise a kid that doesn't know how to look somebody in the eye and have a conversation. And I hate going through like, I don't know what it is. It's like everybody who works at Starbucks will drive through and it's just like, I'm just like, you could tell there's like I don't know. It's like there's this younger generation is like, it's not shy is not the right word. They're just not used to communicating with people in person, Yeah. And this other, like I have a guy like that's a contractor that was doing some work for me, and I'll fucking call this guy. And he doesn't answer my calls, but then will send me a page text message. And I'm just like, and this happens so many times, I just start typing back, not reading. Like, I'm not going to read that. Like, I've tried to call you, sorry, not reading. And I have to do it enough until, like, at some point you're going to have to call me, Yeah. I just don't want to sit and do this all day with everybody. It's like, bro, you have my number. Call me. Then
dude, I'm tour managing Saving Abel on this next run.
Yeah.
And, I sent out a blanket email that just said, we will be having a conversation on the phone. So prepare yourself.
Yeah.
We will be speaking like people.
Yeah.
And we will discuss arrival times like people.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we can put it in writing, but we will
Yes.
talk like human beings were meant to.
Yes.
I
That's
can
what
imagine trying to go into the dating pool in this day and age. Like, what the fuck?
Thank God I don't have to do that.
That's the thing. Like, back in the day, okay, if you were like a 40-year-old guy and let's say you were single or divorced, you'd be like, I'm gonna find myself like a 25-year-old girl, like a little hottie. Man, if I, God forbid, my wife is like, fuck you, you're gone. I'm like, I have to find somebody exactly your age or older. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want anybody younger, you know? Like, I like, my wife could still cook a meal and like, she's a woman, you know, she's an actual woman. And I'm just like, I don't need a girl, you know? And so I'm concerned for like my daughter, and I'm also concerned for my son and my sons, you know, because I want them to like, I don't know. I still think to this day, the mid 90s to early 2000s was the peak of technology, should have been for me.
Yes.
you could send an email. The internet existed. You could call people on a cell phone. I mean, like, then it just got crazy. Now, like, people are going to be marrying a fucking robot in like 3 years. You know, I'm like, I'm not down with that.
That's
so
not even a joke. You know, another thing to finish up on the point of this whole social media thing and how it's a problem. And what I'm about to tell you is fact. It actually happened in my household, and we don't need to get crazy and discuss more about what I'm about to say unless you want to. But the Charlie Kirk assassination, I heard about it in real time, turned on the news. I'm watching it. 30 minutes have gone by, and my son walks out of the bedroom. He's got his phone in his hand. He's got it down to his side. His jaw is dropped, and he's just looking at me. He's 15. And I said, "You did it, did you?" And he's like, "Was that real?" First thing out of his mouth. Yeah. And so he wakes up, picks up his phone.
How old is he?
He's 15.
Yeah.
Opens it up. So he's seen violence. He's seen movies, you know, the video games. He's, you know, violence is not a new thing for him, but unscripted, real. This happened. This is no Hollywood movie, kid. This really happened. He comes out and his first thing was, and my dad heart just immediately, I was like, I'm in shock myself. And now I need to shift gears and turn into the dad mode and have a conversation with him about what he saw, what just happened, why it happened, you know, have all these answers for him that would not have happened if A, there was no social media, or B, it was a little bit regulated a little bit. You know, the fact that anyone and everyone for an hour or 2 or 3, even now, if you search it up, but for those pivotal couple hours, it was just everywhere. Yeah. There was no stopping it. You just, anywhere you looked, it didn't matter what platform, there's a video of a man getting assassinated, horrifyingly, violently, for anyone to watch. And I'm still angry. That,
man, the crazy thing is, like, these platforms have in place things that can stop that. Like, you can't post nudity on Facebook and Instagram without it being stopped within minutes. So why are they allowing this to go out for so long is what I wanted to know.
Well,
it's like, why do we
I think if you take it one step even further than that, it's like he probably would have been assassinated if it wasn't for social media, because all of this division has been huge in part because of social media. Where in the world, if I go, I could post a video of something and I could have 13 people be like, fuck you, you're a racist, I hate this. I'm just giving an example. You hate this, whatever. That person, if they saw me in an elevator, would never say that to my face. Ever. Right. Okay, so there's all these people that social media has created this massive divide, and then you add kind of the media just plays into that, and now we're actually creating fucking psychos, you know, that are doing stuff like this, and it doesn't seem like it's ending. So it's just like, when I look at it on all fronts, I'm like, this social media shit is awful. Like, it really, what does it do for our culture? When you think about it, it's like we all have to use it because it's there now, but it's just like it's not healthy for the world, for our kids, for us, you know, and mangles your brain. So I don't know. The whole thing is crazy. That really messed me up though, dude. Like when I saw that, and I've seen, like, you can imagine, I'm 39. I've seen a lot of crazy shit. You know, when I saw that just, I can't get that out of my head, man. Like I'm not a dude. Like I really hold in my shit, you know, like I don't kind of break down very often. When I saw it, it was like the first time in a long time I actually cried as soon as I saw it, because I was like, what is happening out there? Like,
yeah,
like his fucking kids were there and his wife, you know, like how much of like a cold-blooded person you have to be to do that? Like no matter what somebody said, you know, like that to me is just crazy that's where we're at, you know?
And what's crazy, if you want to dig a little deeper, is there's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to get conspiracy theorists on here, Nick, but all I'm saying is
I've watched the videos.
I've seen enough to know that I can confidently say I don't think dude pulled the trigger.
No, dude, the two pictures are, unless he had some like lip filler put in and gained like 20 pounds between time.
Yeah, there's so much stuff. Yeah. There is so much stuff to where you go, what?
He had plenty of time, like right before it happened, to post on Reddit what he was going to do from a coffee shop 5 minutes away.
But he didn't post on Reddit. He didn't say he was going back to his vehicle, my love.
Yeah. Oh, like,
yeah.
Another podcast, another time. We could, you know what I mean? It's
start a conspiracy podcast.
This wormhole is dangerous because you start going, what actually is real? And then you'll blow your own mind. So,
well, man, I'll tell you what is real. The man lost his life.
Yes.
And there's a reason for it that is deep, dark, and we don't know why.
Right.
I think
that's what's real.
Why, really, you know, it's just like it's like this is why even this started happening a lot during COVID, and then, you know, expanded, got worse. But it's like the whole cancel culture thing, that as soon as it started happening, I was like, this is fucking dangerous, you know, because now this is the ultimate cancel culture, just ending somebody's life. And to see how many people celebrated that to me was like shocking.
Sickening. It was sickening.
Yeah.
Sickening.
Yes. It's
sickening. And I don't care what side of the fence you're on. Like, that was just gross. Like, how many people, dude, I can't tell you how many people on my own Facebook were like so happy about it. And I'm just like,
they're gone now.
What I don't get are the people that are like justifying that it happened. Like so with our clothing company, we actually put out a shirt, the Freedom shirt. We're donating all the money to the organization. I actually had somebody call me and tell me that I'm racist, anti-LGBTQ, I'm a Nazi, yada, yada, yada.
Uneducated, brainwashed.
So
morons.
How is it a good thing that this person was shot and killed? Like, what if I decide I don't have the same viewpoints as somebody on your political party, and I decide to take them out? Am I a bad person? She's like, well, yeah, because, and I'm like, no, it's the same thing, both sides. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. Killing someone is just fucking wrong. It is absolutely wrong. Have a conversation. Talk through it. Don't kill somebody over. Don't hurt somebody. Violence is just wrong.
It's wrong, man. It's wrong. And I don't like and also this is the other thing too. It's like part of what being rock and roll was saying how you feel and not being filtered.
Right.
Everything now, it's like you have to watch everything you say. Like in 2000. So I'm from Canada. I was living in Toronto, and during COVID, we were locked down, man, for almost 2 years. It was insane. Like it got to the point we knew families that we know, multiple families from where I live, where one of the spouses committed suicide during that time. I just, you know, so I don't care. Like, anyways, that's a whole other topic. But long story short, I made a comment about it, and I was signed to a record label at that time with a project I had in Canada. It was a Canadian project called Bonds of Mara. We had the top 15 song in the country with that project. I was touring it. And the president of the record label called me, and this is verbatim what he said. He's just like, and I said something very like, pretty much like we shouldn't be like after all this time, like why? Because in Canada, sorry, let me go back a little bit. I don't want to jump on my words. The liquor stores and the weed stores are run by the government. Okay, so everything was locked down. You couldn't go into a grocery store, but there was a lineup of 200 people to get into the liquor store because you can't buy liquor at like a 7-Eleven, like in America and Canada. It's government run. So the pot stores and the liquor stores all open. Okay. And I was just like, and then I'm seeing friends I know who have local businesses that have that lost their business, now having to sell their homes, like destroying their families a year and a half, almost 2 years into COVID. And then, other places, it's like I fly to Florida and I'm at fucking Disney and there's 50,000 people and life is normal. Like, what is happening? Like, am I in the fucking, like, where am I? So I made a post about it, and sure as shit, the president of the record label called me. He's like, listen, if you don't delete that post, we're going to drop you. And I just stood my ground. I was like, well, then yeah, fucking drop me. Because I'm not gonna play into this like shit. And
That's
he's like,
rock and roll right there, sonny boy.
Yeah. and I said, I was like, he's like, I'm serious. I'm like, that's totally fine. I was like, if you don't stand for something, you stand for nothing. So I said, if you feel like you have to do that, then by all means, go for it. I'm just not going to take it down because that's how I feel. And I'm not playing into this like bullshit. And he said, well, do you know what the problem with you is? And I go, well, enlighten me. Yeah. And he said, you're a minority. And he's like, you have a minority view. And he's just like, if you want to be in this industry, you have to be part of the majority or not. And I said, well, I'll never be then because I'm not.
Italians are a minority now?
Yeah, I know. He didn't mean, he meant my opinion because.
Oh, the opinion. Okay.
Yeah, because you were expected at that time.
Yeah.
No matter what
I got it. Yeah.
Right. To just be like, like this is good. Like, like the economy, like people are losing their houses and everything and committing suicide. This is great. Anyways. But so I just told him anyway. So I was like, if I appreciate whatever you have to do. You have to do what you have to do for your business. But then I also have to like look at my kids one day and show them that their father's not a fucking pushover, and I don't want to be known as that. So funny enough, never fucking dropped me though, didn't. I called his bluff. And then like 2 weeks later, he's just like, okay, well, maybe we can just kind of, dance around this or whatever. And it ended up being fine. I ended up moving to Florida. The project kind of fell apart or whatever, and for different reasons. But yeah, I hate that. I'm like, man, don't like that. I just thought that was so crazy. I'm like, Rage Against the Machine wrote songs about like shit that, was controversial. And it was just like, that was rock and roll. Now
it was like, cool.
Yeah. Now you have to watch everything you say. Now
no one's getting John Connor. No one's getting John Connor.
Right. The fact that needed to happen in this day and age is proof positive of what you're saying. That 1998, that wasn't a problem.
No. And also it's like now it's a culture where like, man, you can't say anything. And dude, I have zero filter. You're going to love me or you don't love me. And that's who it is. I'm happy with that. I'd rather have a bunch of people or a small group of people who like me and just like me for who I am or not, and that's just, I do have a mouth and I just, sometimes I feel like I need to use it.
The best advice I have been given for these things this day and age is by my very, very good friend who I've never met in my life, Mr. Joe Rogan.
Nice.
Don't engage. Post and ghost, baby. Post and ghost.
Yeah, it's true. That's actually, honestly, so true.
Why waste your time? Why waste a second of your life arguing with a stranger on the internet about something? And I'm guilty, man, especially the last few weeks. I see someone post something and I'm like, you're so wrong.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I still typing? It's frustrating.
I've gone through and like typed out the response and then like thought about it and then, oh, fuck. Delete.
Yeah, and then you realize you just wasted 10 minutes of your time. You could have been making money.
Back to the COVID thing, though, like being a parent during COVID, and the hardest part for me was teaching my kids kindness. like going into a grocery store and we had to wear the fucking masks and stuff. And it's like, whether I agreed with it or not, how rude people were to other people in front of my kids and other kids. It's like, how do you turn that around for a little kid to see? Don't act like that. Don't be an asshole. Like, you know, like just be kind to people and the world's going to be a better place. Like this will go a lot smoother if people just understood that some people are going to go with the flow. And if you choose not to, just keep your fucking mouth shut. Like,
but that's the whole point. That to me is an actual democracy. Yeah. Like you do what you do, I'll do what I do, and we coexist. And don't put your shit on me. I won't put my shit on you. And man, I maybe I am. I don't know. Maybe I am a very political person. I'm not sure. But like, I'm totally cool having a conversation with people. And back in the day where I had a friend who was completely opposite than what my views on shit.
Right.
And then he'd be like, we'd be like banter for a little bit. Oh no, you're crazy. No, you're crazy. All right. Anyways, let's figure out this riff here. And that was it. We love you.
That was it. That was it.
What the hell?
I remember
what the hell is going on?
I think that all ended in like 2003, like the 90s up till about 2003. Like you could have a conversation about different political viewpoints, different religious points, and still be buddies, still have dinner at the end of the day.
Dude,
and
yes.
like now,
you can't talk about anything now, man. I was
crazy.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, this was like a month ago or whatever. And what was it? I got scammed online and for something. And I was saying, they were just like, how did you know you got scammed at first? And I was like, well, it's funny enough. It was like, I bought my daughter a hedgehog online. Okay. And this dude created this website, and it wasn't that sold the hedgehogs. I'm like, who the fuck picked this to scam people?
Right.
It wasn't, so there was no hedgehog. I give this guy a deposit. And immediately when the person's asking me for more and more money and for shipping and all this kind of stuff. And I start to feel, okay, this is weird, but it can't be a scam because
it's a hedgehog.
Who would pick this? It's a hedgehog. so I all the pictures of this on the video are it's a white guy's hands and it's holding hedgehogs and different stuff. And so I talking to the guy on this phone immediately. As soon as the guy answers, I can tell it's a black dude on the phone right away, like African, like from Africa. And he's like, he's trying to tell me with a really broken English that, you know, all that's him and all the pictures. Like, if you look at this picture, this is the one I have available. I have another one of me holding this hedgehog, and immediately I'm like, that's a black dude on the phone. That's definitely not the person in the picture. And I told this to the person I was talking to, and they're like, whoa. We don't have to start talking about race. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? Like insinuating that I'm like a racist or something, because I like pointed out the fact, like I was like, he sounded like a black dude from Africa and not like this creamy white skinned dude that's holding the headshots. Right. Like that was just what set it up. And now and it was just weird. I'm like, man, like that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's where we're at, gentlemen. That's where we're at.
That's where we're at. Hey guys, I am late for a load in.
All right,
I've got to go pick up my kids, guys.
Let's end this thing. Yeah. It's been great. Sal, I feel like we could probably go another 17 hours.
Yes, sir.
And so I would like you to commit with us to another episode sometime sometime in the future, we'll say, if you're cool with that. All right. And I have one final question to ask you before we end this thing. And that is, if you could impart one piece of Sal advice on any young musician trying to make it in the industry who had a dream just like you, what's that going to be?
Honestly, I'm scared to say it because of how shitty things have come, but like you can't have a backup plan. It has to be, you have to just be like, I'm going to commit to do this, and that's what it is, and I will suffer the consequences if it doesn't happen. Yeah, because it will not it won't happen if you do it any other way. Unless maybe like the TikTok generation, you might post a cover and then explode and get paid $100,000, right? But
all right. Sal, thank you so much, man. Yeah, man. He is Nick Martin. That guy is Mr. Scott Bartlett of Saving Abel. I am JP. And of course, Sal Costa on Grind Lifestyle. Thank you all so much for checking out the show. Please like, subscribe, do all the things. Tell your friends, have your friends tell their friends, and let's blow this thing up. Everyone else, man, we'll catch you on the very next episode. Have a great rest of your day. See you.
Peace.
Peace.